Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another Live Wire Sports Media. In today's episode, I'm going to do something totally different from what I have been doing pretty much when it comes to the Indiana Fever and this free agent market. Now, you have heard me talk about Satou Sabally, the Fever trading for Satou Sabally, getting Satou Sabally, and everything like that. So, I want to give a shout out to someone that follows me on X a lot. His name is Mike Allen 125, if I'm pronouncing it right. But he always inbox me on X. He always give me information on X about, he always want me to do videos on certain subjects and stuff. So shout out to you. And I know he follows me on my channel. So shout out to you for keeping me in the loop. And he follows a lot of other content creators too, not just myself. But he always interacts with me a lot. He inboxes me on X a lot, and he always keeps me, a thing. So he was on Spaces last night. They had a Spaces Fever Spaces last night. And it was talk about the Indiana Fever, about who they should get, why they should make this decision, why this decision is important. And as I was laying in my bed listening to it, because I was tired a little bit, I agree with a lot of the sentiment of them, because the fact of it, that it's important to understand that the Indiana Fever do not, and I repeat this, do not need to make haste decisions when it comes to this roster, when it comes down to building a championship team. And I had to reassess a lot of things that I have said. Now, some of the things that in my videos I have talked about, I stand by them, but I have to take this as a football approach, because when I'm doing free agency and football, I'm always one step ahead of the game. So I do believe that the Indiana Fever should not trade for Satou Sabally. And here's my reason why. I think Satou is a great talent. I think Satou is a great person. I don't think she would be ideally for the Fever. I don't think that she would. Oh my goodness. Oh, come on. So I don't think that she will be she will be a fit, but when it comes to one-on-one, I don't think that she's going to duplicate what we want to duplicate. And especially you trade her, you giving up draft picks for this year, you possibly give up draft picks for next year, especially with the 2026 season coming in with the new CBA. And what it's going to do is it could put you behind the 8 ball, because then you might have salary cap room, but there's only going to be a selected free agents that you're going to get, knowing that this draft going to have a lot of talent and next year's draft. And if you don't have a lot of draft picks going into next year, then guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to put yourself a little bit behind, even though you got Caitlin Clark and you got a Leo Boston. You got to think of this too. Kelsey Mitchell she's at the 30 mark. You know what I'm saying? So another 2 or 3 years, she's going to be at that close to that 34, 35 range. You really would need to draft a future shooting guard either this year or next year to have behind her. Or if you pick up somebody as a stopgap, you know, along the way, because you don't want to wait to replace Kelsey Mitchell in the future. Now, the Fever could say, hey, I pay, you get Kelsey Mitchell a 1-year deal right now. Then next year, you probably give her a 3-year extension. That'll give her 4 years. She'll be 35, going into 36. Then you can move on for her. You probably could move on from her ahead of schedule. You know what I'm saying? Depends on how her production is. But right now, in this moment, I think the Indiana Fever does not need to trade for Satou Sabally. I don't think that she's going to bring a whole lot to the Fever. I think she's a great talent. I think for what the Fever want, yeah. But when watching her in Unrivaled has a lot of pause for concern, because I would expect for her to say, look, I'm a free agent, and I have talked about it. Players do weird stuff around this time, especially if they don't want to get traded somewhere. They start playing poorly. They tell their agent, I don't want to go here. Now, there could have been rumors that she don't want to come to Indiana. Who knows? She never said it. So she might want to save herself and get to New York. That's on New York. If they want to gut up their roster and give away Leon Ifeevich, that's them. They're crazy for that. Me personally, I don't see Dallas getting a compensation for Satou as they think they are. Because, like I said before, going into this 1-year deal signing, it's going to be hard because teams looking at the draft and say, there's a lot of talent. I want to build my roster through the talent. Then, worry about free agency. So, this is my thing. The Fever should go this route because they got over $1,600 million, $1,000 in salary cap. So you pay Kelsey Mitchell two plus from that. You still got roughly 4 to work with, right? Then you look at who you want. So before I even get to that, this is what I'm about to show y'all right now to make me think a little bit more of the situation. Scott Angus said that the Fever president, Kelly Krauskopf, is in Paris along with the Pacers. I am told she has been active on the phone. Now, a lot of us has been talking about this, saying that the Fever need to look overseas for talent because the free agent market in the WNBA is not that great. To be honest with you, it's not that great. There is not only a few people there I would consider picking out of that. And there's 2 people that I had mentioned before. If you go back to my channel, I have said. But if you really want to make a statement, you go overseas. Scout. And if she was on the phone talking and working, I hope the one name that she's on the phone with is Janelle Saloon. Janelle Saloon is every bit as talented, a better defensive player than Satou. And you could get her on a rookie deal. She's younger. I think she's 23, 24 years old right now. She could shoot. She got handles. She could get to the rim. She could shoot the 3. She's way better. She's a great one-on-one. She's a better one-on-one player than Satou. And you got to think about it. Satou she been in the league for 4 or 5 years and only played 1 good season and been injured and played overseas. That's not a recipe for success because you want somebody that you can rely on. And if you can't rely on the person to be on the court, what the saying goes, the best ability is availability. So, and if Satou's not available, that could really hurt the Indiana Fever potentially getting to the championship in 2025. So Janelle Saloon is the first free agent you need to sign. You plug her in that starting lineup at the small forward position, right? You continue to develop Lexi Hall. but you will bring her off the bench behind a Janelle Saloon. You know why? Because defense. Now you could mix and match and have them on the floor at the same time. But there's another name that I caution out there, and it's two. And now it's part one and part two to this. Part one, you could get on the phone and talk to Emma Murison. Now she plays for Belgium, and she's really good. She's really good. I think she's 31, so she's right at that cuff right now. She was drafted. She was with the Chicago Sky, but now she's a free agent. Now New York could be looking at her. Golden State could be looking at her. Seattle could be looking at her, but they already got Gabby Williams, so that's an out. Connecticut could be looking at her. I don't see her playing with Connecticut. But the coach from Connecticut is her coach in Belgium. So that connection right there. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's up to Emma to want to go there because of what's there. You got to think. You got Dejanay Carrington. You got DeWanna Bonner. You got Alyssa Thomas. You got Marina Mabrey. You got all of them different personalities. Do Emma want to be in that kind of atmosphere? That's the thing. I don't care about the coach being there that used to coach her. It's about the environment that's more important. See, players always can have connections to certain coaches, but that doesn't make it necessary that that player wants to go and be there, because the environment has to fit that player perfectly. And if that player doesn't feel comfortable in that environment, then guess what? That player is not going to go there. So this is where I think Kelly could really be a home run hitter and say, look, this is what the Fever has right now. You have a great culture, young talent. You're a veteran leader. You know, you can show them what winning championships. She has won a championship overseas. You could bring that experience, and guess what? You can guarantee her a starting position on the team. So check this out. If you was to land Emma and Jalon, you could have Jalon at the small, Emma at the power forward position. She's tall. I think she's 6'4", something like that. Let me pull up some info on her real quick, because I did pop it up. So yeah, you look at her. She was with the Washington Mystics to begin the WNBA, her career in the WNBA, and then she was with the Chicago Sky in 2022. Since then, she stayed overseas a little bit, and now in 2025, Marisman could likely entertain the idea of coming back into the league. ESPN believe that she could be playing for, I know the team at the bottom. It's kind of hard for me to see, even though I got glasses on. She could land with the Connecticut Sun. They said she's a best fit for the Connecticut Sun, or she could land with the Minnesota Lynx. Now, but the thing about it is, I don't think she'll start with neither one of them teams. That's the key, because if she's gonna be coming off the bench, she's not gonna get playing time that much. She's going to get spot minutes. But Kelly could offer her a starting position with the Indiana Fever. And guess what? Kelly should say, look, we got a new facility that's about to open in another year. So guess what? You can have all of this and more. You'll be able to get paid more money. You don't have to play overseas as long as also, except for Olympics time. Then you can have her for about a 3-year gap until you develop your draft picks. You know what I'm saying? So also, the Fever did say they want experience also as well. She's an experienced player. She's 31. So guess what? Your starting five would be this: Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Janelle Salon, and Emma Murison. Emma Murison can shoot the ball. She plays defense, and she can handle the ball a little bit. The more people that you can have able to handle the rock a little bit, takes a little bit more pressure off of Caitlin. But guess what? When you got two big wings out here like Marison and Janelle Salon, they could hit or they could drive or they could cut, and Caitlin could find them and get easy baskets, and they could pull up and hit mid-range shots and hit from deep from three. Guess what's going to happen? Then you probably had one of the fastest scoring teams on the court, because that team will actually be built to run up and down the floor and be able to play defense and outside on the wing. Then it helps master a lot of what, Caitlin Clark's defensive efficiencies is. So if you had that starting five, then you go to look at what your bench will look like. Now, if you say for instance, you bring Janelle over and you sign her on a rookie contract because she's still young, then guess what? You only paying her 70-something thousand, close to 80,000. Then you still got roughly 300-something thousand left. Then you able to get Emma, sign her to 100K, over 100K. Then you looking to see, hey, can I pull in Elena Donadon? Elena Donadon is the veteran presence that you need. But guess what? You can have her as a backup. You can have her as a backup to Emma to come in the game. You know what I'm saying? Off the bench. That where Timmy was there, Ellen could be there. Now you still have Dantas that you could use as a backup center behind Aaliyah Boston. Then you can have a Lexi Hall to come in off the bench behind a Janelle. You know what I'm saying? So you already got that. Now, only thing you will need to look for is who you're going to have to come in behind Caitlin and Kelsey Mitchell. That's the thing. So as I've been looking at the draft, if Elena Donadon doesn't want to go elsewhere to look for a championship and she want to be a part of help a franchise being built, because she a two-time champion anyway, so this probably be her last year or whatever the case might be. But she's a free agent. She hasn't been cored by the Mystics, so that's a different thing right there. So you say, hey, if Kelly said, hey, I want you to be a part of this, I want you to bring some leadership, veteran leadership there, I'm sure Donadon say, well, this is what I take. I couldn't see myself paying her over 200K just to be with the team. I just don't see it. And only for 1 year? Nah, I don't see that. You know what I'm saying? So, and what if she helps lead the Fever, helps be a part of leading the Fever to a championship this year? Boom, she could retire on top, going by her business, off into the sunset. You know what I'm saying? And she could bring some leadership to the team. She could show Aaliyah Boston some stuff. She could show Caitlin some stuff. There's a lot of different things. Her and Emma could be the perfect veterans that could help groom this young team in the right direction and bring a lot of experience. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes down to playoff time and going down deep into the playoffs if the Fever make it to the championship. They have that experience. They know what it takes. And that's going to be very significant. You know what I'm saying? So now the other part of this is that the draft. The Fever has the number 8th, 20th, and the 3rd round pick. A lot of people think that the Fever has a lot of options at number 8. Now, a lot of people have been thinking about the Fever getting Sonia Centron. She might not be there unless if the Fever really want her, then they can move up in the draft. You know what I'm saying? But the ideal person I think the Fever should get is Aja Savik. I've been talking about her for a long time. I love her. She could be a really good player to learn behind Elena Donadon or Emma off the bench. She don't even have to start. She don't have to play right now. Her development will be crucial. Now, if the Fever drafted her and she wants to come over this year, now she say I come over next year, then good. You have a replacement for Elena Donadon. You know what I'm saying? Or whoever you decide to pick up. Then you look at Maddie from Indiana, from Notre Dame. She could be there. but they had her projected go in the second round. Now, if the Fever really want her, now they'll have to move up in the second round to get her and everything like that. But this is the key. This is how the Fever could really, really position themselves to pick up in the second round. If Maddie falls in the second round, you could strike a deal with, say, at number 16 with the Aces. You could send a Alyssa Smith over there, or you could send a Katie Lou over there. Because I don't believe if the Fever hits what I was talking about in these areas, I don't believe Katie Lou will be on the team. I don't believe Alyssa Smith on the team. I do believe these players will get traded for draft picks. I don't think they would get traded for anything else. I think they would get traded for draft picks. I could see if you look late in the first round with the Phoenix, say the Phoenix Mercury, they have the number 12 pick. Now, say they want to make a trade, or say in the second round, I think the Dallas Mavericks and the Dallas Mavericks or the Aces, they could trade, because they could pick up Maddie, or you could trade with Golden State at 17. Now you got Ronnie Harmon projected in the second round. You got Harmony Turner down there. You got Raven Johnson. You got Alila Filia from Michigan. She's a shooting guard forward. I looked up video for her. She's decent. They got her going to the Fever at 20. But I do believe. Then you got Sonya Rivers from NC State, who's nice. She's 6'1". But if you want to get somebody like Maddie, that's 6'3", in the second round, you're going to have to move up in the second round to get her. There's other pieces in there. But to me, I definitely now say that the Indiana Fever was to pick Maddie at number 8 and then try to hold out for Savik at number 20. That's risky. That's risky right there, because guess what? You have the Aces at 16. You have the Minnesota Lynx at 15. And they got her picking Anuka Lee at Kansas State at center. So to me, personally, I think, and this Tankathon.com, they have at number 8 Asia Savik, 6'4", forward, going at number 8 for the Fever. So I think that's a more realistic projection. I think the Fever will pick up somebody else in the next 2 rounds. Don't know who they will be, and maybe they probably will fill out their roster at that time. But I do believe that they're gonna create space on this roster, because I don't believe Katie Lou is going to be there. One or two things going to happen. They're going to try to find a trade piece for her to get like a second round pick next year for her. And stockpiling draft picks will be the most ideal thing for the Indiana Fever, because going into next year, you could build this team a little bit more younger. You're going to probably have a young, experienced team, because your veterans is going to be Caitlin, Aaliyah, and Kelsey at that time. If you could find a trade partner to get rid of Alyssa Smith, that'll be ideally. Just get a draft pick for her. You don't have to trade a player for her. Just trade her for a draft pick. Same thing with Katie Lou. You could say, hey, can I get y'all second round pick for Katie Lou with Golden State? If Golden State fees and say, yeah, I'll give it to you, then guess what? You got another second round pick in this draft. Then you could hit on 2 good quality draft players in the second round. You know what I'm saying? Then you could get a Maddie. Then you could probably get you a shooting guard for the future to play behind, to prepare yourself for a Kelsey Mitchell departure in the future. You know what I'm saying? So there are a lot of different scenarios that the Indiana Fever could get to, but the one thing I feel they should not do is trade for Satou Sabally. There's no way they should make a trade. I think they should use their draft picks to build this roster, get some really good quality players that play. You probably going to see some players on this team get cut. Now, a lot of people say, hey, give Grace Berger a chance. Grace Berger could serve her purpose right now. She could probably come in for Caitlin Clark, right? You know, she'll probably be on the roster. She could probably serve as that person. Say on the bench you have Grace Berger. You got Ella Denaldon. You got a Damaris Dantas. You got Lexi Hall. Then you're going to probably need 2 spaces on there for who? Your draft picks. That's going to give you what? Up to, because you only could keep what, 12 on the team. So you might see Victoria Saxon get cut. You might see, hell, being honest, you probably see Dantas get cut if it comes down to it. I just do believe that the Indiana Fever is going to reshape this roster from front to back. It's going to be a whole different roster. You're going to see some players. You're going to see better draft picks that's going to be able to contribute immediately in some form or fashion on this team. Not waiting, not being buried, not being utilized like Christy Sides was doing and all of that stuff. I just feel like at the end of the day that the Indiana Fever is going to reshape this roster for the better. And then you go stockpile, like I said, stockpile draft picks for next year. If you could get rid of Katie Lou Samuelson, trade her for a pick, get rid of her contract, that's going to really give the Indiana Fever flexible money to do a lot of things. That's the real key right there. Trading Melissa Smith because she's on a rookie deal, you could get a draft pick for her. She still got some upsides. She still got talent. She's just not a great fit for what the Fever's trying to do right now. So let me know what you think of all of this. I think it's a good deal. I just think the Satou Sabally thing just needs to be dead, buried. Don't even look into it anymore. I think this scenario, what I just illustrated out to y'all guys, is going to be the best route for the Indiana Fever right now. And I'm going to stay true to it. I'm going to stick it to it. And I'm going to continue to hammer this home, especially with Kelly overseas right now, making calls on the phone. They cooking something up. Something's brewing. Something's brewing. Until the next episode, this is Live Wire Sports. And you know RSA. See ya.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live Wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.